So the Vikings actually did sign Risner after all. Let's go ahead and let is find out if it's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll find out. Just
I know you're scared. Yeah, I do too. If I were you. I know you're scared. I do too. If I were you. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game. Cause all the girls stop. You better bring your A game. Bring your A game. You better bring your A game.
so. Speaking of A game, did the Vikings bring it with the signing of Risner? Is he going to start because he said he wanted to? Is he replacing Ingram, or do we even know yet?
All these questions should be answered soon, you would think.
You would think, yeah.
You would think. It's my question is what took them so long? You knew going into the season you were going to eventually need a veteran offensive lineman. You knew it. But you waited until the second game of regular season, and I'm sure it was probably money. It was a money thing. I'm sure of it.
Well, the contract was for 1 year, $4 million, 2.25 guaranteed.
And that's not a lot of money.
No.
It's not a lot of money. So what happened that you let him go out of the building?
Did he lower his price? You would think that he would raise it because they need him more now than what they did before.
Yeah, he would raise it. You would think. I see. This is the whole thing. You didn't let him. You didn't sign him when you had him in here, and now all of a sudden you're signing him. And the Vikings are very lucky nobody else signed him.
Yeah,
very lucky
because he was the top rated guard that was on the market. But
right.
With him being the top rated guard and all the offensive line issues, there has to be something.
I think it was,
unless he said, "I'm signing. If I don't sign with Minnesota, then I'm not signing with anybody." Unless he did that type of deal, but because if he plays well and he shows that he's better, they gotta keep him over Ingram, right?
Well, they have to, but also don't forget Ezra Cleveland is technically a free agent after this year.
They gotta re-sign Cleveland. Cleveland's not going to be that expensive to re-sign, I don't think.
No, but are you going to sign him as a guard or a tackle?
Well,
there may be a team out there willing to sign Cleveland and have him back in his natural position, which is tackle.
When tackles make more money than guards,
right? So it's there's that possibility. It's a very just. It's a head scratcher with this organization. What took you so long going into the season knowing you needed offensive line help? And Kirk has taken a beating the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And you can't run the ball, which I blame KOC for that also. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to sign him? You know, and it's going to take him at least to get in the flow with the offense. It may take him a week or two. You know, he hasn't had a training camp. He wasn't in camp with anybody.
And if they knew Thursday night that Udo was going to be gone for the year, pretty much.
Yes.
So my question is, why didn't they sign him? You know, is there something with the league to where they had to sign him today as opposed to Friday? I don't.
There could have been, because I think it's like because that was in the middle of week 2,
right?
And so the new week starts. Well, you still got games.
You still got Monday night, so
yeah. So
2 games tonight, actually.
2 games tonight. So it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of a knee-jerk reaction, maybe, or they got to where the week starts in the NFL that they could sign him under a different monetary, because 2 games gone, his contract demands probably go down.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, he may not be in game shape until week 5 or 6. It's going to take him a couple of games to get in game shape.
Is him not being in game shape still better than Ed Ingram being in game shape? This has to be about Ed Ingram, doesn't it?
It has to be about Ed Ingram.
But they're not happy with his progress. It has to
No. And now here's the thing. I heard in preseason, they were not happy with his footwork. He was regressing. And I heard that. And I'm like, well, then why didn't you sign Risner then?
Yeah.
Why did you wait 2 weeks? You saw what happened to your franchise quarterback the first 2 weeks of the season. Now you're going to do something about it? And once again, this team is lucky that Kirk did not get hurt.
You can say what you want about Kirk, but he does not get hurt.
They're lucky he did not get hurt. So, I mean, it's a lot of moves with this front office are just the timing. Yeah. It's just you have more questions. Like I said before, with this team, you're going to have more questions than answers. And once again, we got another question. We got an answer, but we still got questions.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder. I mean, Risner is a better pass blocker than a run blocker.
Yeah.
We can't run the ball anyway, so I don't think that really matters.
Right.
KOC's not going to run the ball anyway. But we got to keep – if Kirk gets another half a second, that might be the difference, and big, in plays happening that wouldn't have happened with Ingram. But, I mean, he's not going to probably play this weekend. I wouldn't think.
I wouldn't think he plays this week. He's not in game shape. He's not in game shape.
Would he even dress? Would he even be, would he be one of the inactives? Probably.
They would dress him.
Yeah.
They would dress him. They might get him in there. He is a professional, so he should be able to step in. And he knows Denver. He knows the Chargers because he played against them twice a year. He's in their division.
So you don't think this is one of those they waited this week because he used to play their division signings?
No, something was said in that front office by someone. It could be a financial thing, like I said, also. But
maybe the old line coach was like, "Listen, man, I know you drafted Ingram, but he ain't it."
Well, I think Cooper was in Denver when they drafted Risner.
Right.
So it could be that. It could be, you could actually use Risner for scouting of the Chargers because he played against that defense.
Yeah.
So you could use him for that too. But he's got to take Ingram's spot. I think Ingram has regressed. And they put Ingram out there. He just wasn't ready. He just wasn't. But now here's the Vikings. Last night, Vidarian Lowe started for the Patriots.
He didn't do that bad either, I don't think.
And he didn't do that bad. So, okay, Vidarian Lowe, you trade him to the Patriots for, I don't know what, I think a sixth rounder.
They drafted him in the 6th round, so they got a 6th rounder back.
So they got a 6th rounder back, but you didn't even. I mean, this is a guy you drafted, and you didn't. Only thing you used him for was trade bait to get another low round draft pick on a position of need. So it's once again, it makes me wonder what's going on with this franchise as far as offensive line and defensive line play goes. They're getting it wrong in the trenches, and they've been getting it wrong for a few years.
Yeah. So the price, I have no issue with the price. I think it's a good price for a veteran for a position that you need.
Mm-hmm.
So if the price was always this low, it goes back to why did they wait so long? Because even him at 85% is better than Ingram at 100%.
Yeah.
So was it the stubbornness? Say, hey, we drafted Ingram. We have to see if it works. And then they're like, well, he regressed in preseason, but that's preseason. Let's see how he does in games. Mm-hmm. But he was the only starter who played in the preseason. So obviously they know they've known that he regressed. I don't know. It's weird timing. And they knew, and if it was an Udo situation, they would have signed the tackle. I guess Quisenberry's stuck at tackle that he's probably not going to play guard at all.
Right, and he's a swing guy. He can play guard or tackle, I believe.
Well, with this signing, he's probably going to be stuck. He's probably the third tackle.
Yeah. Well, is Darrisaw playing Sunday?
Well, third tackle, meaning if Darrisaw and O'Neal are healthy, then he's a third tackle if one of them get hurt in the game. But
yeah, they still have Blake Brandel, who I think he's a guard, but I think he's originally a tackle. They
would Blake Brandel be the backup left tackle and Quisenberry the backup right tackle?
Brandon would be the backup right tackle, Quisenberry left tackle.
Yeah.
And
so
but
that's a lot of offensive linemen, though.
Yeah, but
they need them.
They need them, and they're just average at best. You know, like we've said before, once you get past the starting lineup, you're in trouble.
Yeah, well, I think that's true for a lot of teams, but mostly the offensive line. So once again, the Vikings signed Dalton Risner to a 1-year, $4 million contract, $2.25 million guaranteed. When will he replace Ingram? That is the question. Is it? I don't think it's this week because he just got here, but possibly the game after the Chargers, which is the Panthers. I can see.
Well, definitely, he'll probably definitely start against the Chiefs.
Oh yeah,
he'll definitely start against the Chiefs because they're gonna, and he'll probably go up against Chris Jones.
Which, well, hey, I'd rather have Risner going against Jones than
I would rather have Risner against Chris Jones than Ingram. But it's gonna. I mean, Viking fans, relax. It's gonna take this guy a couple of weeks to get the scheme and get his footwork under him and get in work with this unit. It's gonna be a couple of weeks. This is he hasn't had a training camp. He wasn't with anybody. He was working out at home, so it's gonna take him 2 games at least to get into game shape.
Gonna have to hit that sled.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. So, just be prepared. We'll probably see more Ingram on Sunday, and who knows? Maybe signing Risner lights a fire under Ingram and he gets his act together, and gives him that little push to get his head in the game and start showing what he can do. There's that too, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah, I'm actually glad they did this because I'm done with Ingram. I don't like to give up on players too early, but he's just not getting it done. So I am happy about the signing. We didn't think it would happen after our discussion last time. We didn't think this would happen. We thought the ship sailed when they signed Quisenberry, but the Vikings surprise us sometimes.
I was telling people on other shows, relax with the Risner signing, because if they were going to sign him, they would have signed him. Well, they proved me wrong, so I got to eat crow. I was wrong.
Well, I was wrong. I think it's the whole crazy thing because if it was Spielman, if Spielman was a GM, they would have signed him. If Spielman liked him,
Spielman probably would have traded for him.
Yeah,
he would have gave up a number 1.
All right, so. Once again, the Vikings signed Dalton Risner to a 1-year, $4 million contract, $2.25 million guaranteed. I think it's a good signing, especially for the value. So we'll see how it goes. And once again, Tony and I will be doing a show tomorrow night called Vintage, talking Vikings history with Catch and TB at 5:30 to 6:30 Central, and we will see you guys.
I know you're scared. Yeah, I do too. If I were you. I know you're scared. I do too. If I were you.